to a very Christmassy edition of David Hasselhoff's Retro Game Reviews. This week I'll be doing Mario 64 for Nintendo 64. Gotta say, this is a brilliant game and it's my all-time favourite Mario. And I believe it changed platform games forever. I mean, before this game came out, a lot of people didn't think platforms could work in 3D. They always thought platforms were 2D. And the ones that tried to be 3D were either on rails, where you go around in one straight line, or you go from point A to point B. This was the first game to do an open world platform, and it did it brilliantly. And then from this point onwards, it set the groundwork for the rest. But let's get on with the review. Mario 64. I love this game. It is one of my all-time favourite platform games, and my most favourite Mario 64 Mario game of all time. I mean, it changed everything. I mean, Nintendo went straight from 2D to 3D, and they didn't even have an in-betweeny console like what the PlayStation did, or, you know, they went straight 64-bit. And just the thing, they went from Super Mario World to Super Mario 64, and it's a brilliant transition. And a lot of people were worried about 3D at first, especially platform games. A lot of people didn't think, you know, 3D and platforms go together. And there were a lot of attempts. I mean, a lot of them, as I said before, you either go from one side of the screen to the other, or you go from point A to point B with this. Yeah, you had set goals, but you didn't have to follow them. You could go any way you want. You could collect rings, collect the blue rings, or, you know, go for the red rings. You could do any of the little quests you want. You were free to do whatever you wanted. You could just mess around just for a laugh. You know, I mean, it's a beautiful game, and it really showed off what the system could do. And it was really cartoony, and it had such a lovely look. Even though that look was not necessarily planned. The problem was the way the graphics were. It took a long time for people to really get the most out of the system, and they were limited because of the cartridges. I mean, they couldn't put too many textures on, and what textures they could put on ended up getting overly stretched and blurred. I mean, with this game, they just tend to just use single colours most of the time, and it worked. It gave them a really nice little style. I mean, look at it, it looks beautiful. And it's a solid game, you know, and what I liked about it was the moves, because in the previous Marios, you would jump, do a jump spin. There wasn't really much. With this one, there were loads of little cool little moves, and the way they incorporated it into the game was brilliant. Like the ones where you have to, like, you know, jump on the wall, bounce off the wall onto another wall to reach a platform, or the way you have to go up to a platform and then backflip onto it. It was a really challenging game. I mean, it took me ages to complete. It must have took me months to complete. And then once I completed it, I went back and did all the stars. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for people. End of the day, if you want to do all the stars, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen because it'll just spoil it for you. And people don't like, you know, having the surprises taken out for them. So basically, all I can say is that if you collect every single star, you will see Yoshi on top. But I'm not telling you any more than that. It's a tough game though. I mean, I've got this for the Wii. It's, you know, and I also played the DS version, which is really good, especially the multiplayer. Now, I've got to say, this is probably my most favourite Nintendo 64 game of all time, and it's my favourite Mario. I played the newer ones, and yeah, Mario Sunshine was really nice, and, you know, Mario Galaxy, you know, is really nice, but I don't really feel like they've done that much more since this. You know, I mean, my personal opinion, this is the best Mario game of all time, and I reckon I played all of them. Now, so it's a brilliant game. I mean, everything about it, the music, the sound, the graphics, it is just a perfect game. You know, I mean, it's definitely in my top 10 games. I mean, one day I'll have to do like a top 10 list or something, because I mean, I keep saying, oh, this is in my top 5, this is in my top 10. It'd be nice to actually have it, you know, stated what are my top 10, because even I don't know what they are. Now, the boss battle. This is actually quite an easy one, but remember the first time I did it, I was like, whoa, what do I do? Because it doesn't really tell you. I mean, it hints that, you know, you have to grab and throw him off, because he likes doing that kind of thing. He's the Bomb King. You can tell, because that little crown he wears. I know, I'm just being silly now. Now, it's quite amazing to think that these games were on cartridges. And the best thing about it was no loading time, instant, you know. And I think a lot of people who, you know, who bought the PlayStation, they put up with it because You know, they just thought, well, you know, CD rules, and yeah, some of the games do benefit heavily from CD, but you do get the massive loading times. But the benefit from CD is you can have, you know, video cutscenes, which, you know, no one really did them on N64 other than 2 or 3 games. I mean, the best example was Resident Evil 2, and even then they were rubbish because they were heavily compressed. And audio, most games didn't have audio on 64, and the ones that did have them were heavily compressed and they were horrible. But if you just wanted a machine to play games with, you know, and play multiplayer games, you know, this was a solid machine and did a fantastic job. It was great for kids and even adults and Nintendo fans. I've got to say, if you've got a Nintendo 64, this is the best game to get for it. I would really recommend it. Yep, finally got them now. It's a brilliant game. I would really recommend it. I get the star. Woo! So my final thoughts. This is a fantastic game, and I really recommend it. I mean, if you're into platforms, or if you're a Nintendo fan, or a Mario fan, or even just a classic game fan, to me, it's one of the best platform games ever made, and it gets a David Hasselhoff thumb of approval. I want to thank everyone for watching my videos. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a great New Year. Until next time, peace out.